Thank you very much, Andrew, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Sena, and as Andrew mentioned, I will present to you AI and its applications in healthcare in the future. Before I begin, I would like to thank the editorial board for giving me the opportunity to present before this audience. As a disclaimer, these views do not represent JP Morgan, they're solely my own. Here is an outline of my presentation. I will begin by introducing AI in healthcare, followed by an introduction to generative AI and its potential use cases in healthcare. Similarly, I will introduce the concept of generalist AI and its potential use cases in healthcare. I will conclude by discussing the challenges and concerns surrounding the use of AI in healthcare. In recent years, we've been witnessing an unprecedented hypergrowth of medical knowledge to the extent at which it is growing faster than we can consume it. So in the meantime, patient population is also growing and complex pathologies are becoming more and more common. These factors put significant pressure on healthcare professionals. Therefore, leveraging technology to support them is crucial. One of the most significant technologies we've witnessed in recent years is generative AI, which, as the name suggests, generates new content in the form of text, images, videos, audio, code, or multimedia. The most well-known example is ChatGPT, which was released in late 2022, but there are many other examples like DALL-E, Sora, and Google Gemini. Generative AI holds the transformative potential to liberate humans from repetitive tasks, freeing up time to allow them to focus their efforts on higher value activities. The rapid adoption of generative AI solutions in the past year makes it the challenge to synthesize all potential use cases, but these are the prominent categories that seem to emerge. The first potential use case category is synthetic data generation, where generative AI will be used to generate new data to expand or enrich data sets used to train models or validate clinical trials. The second category is insight generation, where generative AI will be used to summarize and extract key information to support diagnostics and drug discovery. The third category will be productivity and automation, where generative AI will improve daily operational tasks, such as writing prescription forms or reports. The fourth category will be content personalization, where it will create personalized content and or experiences to improve the communication between patients and healthcare professionals. Finally, it will be used to use in biomolecule generation, where it will design new protein structures for drug development and gene therapy. Although generative AI tools such as ChatGPT may seem like a great leap forward, in reality, they're just a step in the direction of an even greater breakthrough, which is called artificial general intelligence. So while today's AI, also referred to as narrow AI, is limited to solving a specific task it was trained for, such as image processing, general AI will perform general human intelligent action. It will be able to self-learn and reason with its operating environment beyond its training. It will learn from just a few examples or from unstructured labeled examples, and it will be able to transfer its knowledge to new tasks and domains. Google's large language model, MedPalm, can already perform well on a variety of medical tasks across several domains with a single model, on par with previous special models' capabilities. It can perform question answering, visual question answering, image classification, radiology report summarization and generation, as well as genomic variant calling. Its first version, which was published in July 2023, was the first AI to surpass the mark on US medical license exam style questions. And in a pairwise study, its latest version's answers were actually preferred to physician answers across 8 of 9 axes considered, which you may find on the right-hand side here. Generalist medical AI models promise to solve more diverse and challenging tasks than current medical AI models. In current practice, AI models typically handle a narrow set of tasks and produce a rigid, predetermined set of outputs. By contrast, general medical AI will adapt to a new task with a user query. So for example, an example query would be, explain the mass appearing on this head MRI scan. Is it more likely a tumor or an abscess? Generalist medical AI will also be able to solve previously unseen problems without requiring to be retrained on them with simple custom queries. So, for example, an example query would be, here are the medical histories of 10 previous patients with an emerging disease. How likely is it that our current patient is also infected with the same disease? It will allow modalities to be mixed, meaning both image and text data can be used in the query and the output. For example, a clinician might include multiple images and laboratory results in their query when asking for a diagnosis. It will output the reason for an answer while retrieving relevant context from existing databases in the form of articles, images, or entire previous cases. As you might already be able to imagine, these models have potential for a diverse range of applications. Firstly, they may carry out visualization tasks, potentially annotating video streams of a procedure in real time. They may also provide information in spoken form, such as by raising alerts when steps of a procedure are skipped, or by reading out relevant literature when surgeons encounter rare anatomical phenomena. So a solution would need to integrate vision, language, and audio modalities, using a vision, audio, language model to accept spoken queries and also carry out tasks using the visual feed. Generalist medical AI will expand on existing AI-based early warning systems, providing more detailed explanations as well as recommendations for future care. It will leverage clinical knowledge and provide explanations and data summaries. The solution will require parsing electronic health record sources that involve multiple modalities, including text and numeric time series data. Although there are countless exciting potential use cases for the use of generalist AI in healthcare in the future, there are also several challenges that come with it. The first being validation and verification. Generalist medical AI models will be uniquely difficult to validate and verify, owing it to their unprecedented versatility. The present AI models are designed for specific tasks, so they need to be validated only for those predefined use cases. However, generalist medical AI models can carry out previously unseen tasks queried by an end user for the first time, so it will be more challenging to anticipate all of the model's failure modes. Developers and regulators will be responsible for explaining how generalist medical AI models have been tested and what use cases they have been approved for. Their interfaces themselves should raise off-label usage warnings on entering uncharted territories instead of confidently fabricating inaccurate information. More generally, their unique broad capabilities require regulatory foresight, demanding that institutional and governmental policies adapt to the new paradigm, and that it will also reshape insurance agreements, arrangements, and liability assignments. Previous medical AI models have already shown that AI can be biased and cause harm to marginalized populations. They can acquire biases during training when datasets either underrepresent certain groups of patients or contain harmful correlation. The unprecedented scale and complexity of the necessary training datasets will make it difficult to ensure that they're free of undesirable biases. So they need to be thoroughly validated to ensure that they do not underperform on particular populations, such as minority groups. Furthermore, these models will need to undergo continuous auditing and regulation even after deployment, as new issues will arise as the models encounter new tasks and settings. So rapidly identifying and fixing these biases must be an utmost priority for developers, vendors, and regulators. These models also pose serious risks to patient privacy, as they may have access to rich patient data, including clinical measurements and signals, molecular signatures, demographic information, behavioral and sensory tracking data. So there is a serious risk that these models could expose sensitive patient data that they have been trained on. So by means of the identification and limiting the amount of information collected for individual patients, the damage caused by exposed data can be reduced. However, the privacy concerns are not limited to training data, as deployed models may also expose data from current patients. So prompt attacks can trick models, such as GPT-3, to ignore previous instructions, and a malicious user could force the model to ignore the instruction to never extract sensitive data. Recent models have increased significantly in size, driving up costs associated with data collection and model training. So models of this scale require massive training data sets using thousands of AI chips at a time, amounting to millions of dollars in computational costs. Additionally, developing such large models brings a substantial environmental cost, as training each model has been estimated to generate up to hundreds of tons of CO2 equivalent. On the other hand, it remains difficult to estimate how large these models and data sets must be, especially because the necessary scale depends heavily on the particular medical use case. Generalist medical AI model data sets must also be diverse and anonymized, and procedures for collecting and sharing data will need to comply with heterogeneous policies across institutions and regions. So, although there are a multitude of applications that are quite exciting to hear in the past few years, there are also several challenges and concerns that come with these generalist medical AI applications. Thank you very much.